Hola y bienvenidos a GCSE Spanish Practice. My name is Marina and today we're going to work on a photo card description, which is the last part of your speaking exam. Now the advice in this presentation is for both foundation and higher, and you'll find the higher bits in this dark red color. This is theme 3, so let's go. If you know what you're doing, you can skip to the part where you prepare your answers, otherwise just stay with me. Now, what we're going to do in this video, define the task. So what is the photo card about? Now, here it says it's only 5 marks, but what I didn't say is that then there are follow-up questions that are up to 20 more marks, okay? Now, we will define the task. I'll show you the exam technique, meaning how do you have to complete the task to be successful. I'll show you some model answers. You can choose to see them or to prepare your answers and then see my model answers. Or you can do the other way around. You can see my model answers and then work on your own answers based on my preparation. But anyway, feel free to share your answers in the comment section, and I will be very happy to take a look at them and tell you what works and what could be improved. ¿Preparados? Bueno, vamos. A ver. So today it says higher tier, it could be foundation tier as well. We have this card, and we can see lovely pictures. Okay. When you go to the preparation room, you will prepare for the 5 marks that this part that I am talking about is worth. So you'll be speaking about the 2 photos that you can see. Okay, and that'll be 1 minute for foundation and 1.5, so 1 minute and 30 seconds for higher tier. Okay, then in total you have that conversation, follow-up conversation, so you can have up to 5 minutes for foundation, up to 6 minutes for higher. And as a GCSE examiner for speaking, I'll tell you I stop listening. Okay, I set up a timer and I stop, so you won't be marked for anything else that you're saying. Okay, right, here we go. So today's photo card, we have to describe both cards. Okay, we have to say at least one thing of each of them, but hopefully we know the structure and we know what we're doing. So here we go with the exam technique. Now, what you have to do is, looking at both in your preparation sheet, you're gonna go as soon as you can and write down PAPA. PAPA, which stands for people, activities, place, and any additional information. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at the first photo and we're going to say, en la foto de arriba, hay, and then describe people we can see, describe the activities they're doing, describe a place that we can see, and describe any other additional bits and pieces. And then we're going to say, sin embargo, or any other connective, y también, okay? En la foto de abajo o en la foto 2, I, and then again, people, activities, place, and additional, ideally 2 things per element here, okay? Now, if you would like to go ahead and do your preparation with no help, go ahead. Otherwise, I can give you some guidelines as to what to say, okay? So, some guidelines. We want to say en la foto de arriba hay, and say how many people. And then we can be more specific. There's a woman, there's a baby, there's a family. Activities, what are they doing? They are talking. But in Spanish, we say they talk, okay? Things like that. 2 activities that they're doing. So the verb in the they form, so it finishes with en, and then juntos. They're doing this together. It's usually 2 or more people in pictures, okay? So the more activities you can say in the they form, the better, and then followed by juntos. Place. What is the verb we use for place? Estar. Okay, so to be located. So they are in, and then you can say a house, a city, a room, a party, whatever. And additional, I think. Anything about the weather, anything about what you think they're doing. They're usually having a good time in photos, so we could just go back to a default. Creo que lo están pasando bien. I think they're having a good time. Pienso que están contentos. I think they're happy because of whatever, the weather or anything else you can see. Okay, so your teacher will say, or your examiner, háblame de las fotos. and you will be able to read your preparation. So that is what you've written about en la foto de arriba plus all of this, and then saying sin embargo, and then en la foto de abajo, and then starting over again. So again, if you haven't done so, it is your time to pause the video and do your own, and I will show you my model answers after this. Okay. So, vamos a trabajar en la foto de arriba. We could also say en la foto uno, but I think en la foto de arriba has a much better ring to it. So, here we go. So, we're not doing this one. We're doing this one. You'll hear, háblame de las fotos. And then, this is my exam. I will say, en la foto de arriba hay dos personas. Una madre y un bebé. But if I'm doing higher, maybe I can use this bit, which is one can see. Se ve a una madre y un bebé. And we could go on describing their looks and clothes if we're doing higher. La madre tiene el pelo moreno, el bebé es muy pequeño, en fin, anything else they're wearing, and so on. And by the way, se ve a una madre. This is called the personal A. So if you say, I'm going to visit whoever, I can see whoever, it is that A is a person, you have to use a, okay? Right, activities. Foundation, or how I could say this, hablan por teléfono juntos, es una videollamada. You could even say here, creo que es una videollamada. Higher we can say it seems that they are talking on video call. Parece que están hablando por videollamada. Con la familia o con amigos. We could go on and guess stuff, okay? But I don't recommend guessing too much because we have to stick to what we can see in the photo. But this seems to be appropriate. Están hablando por videollamada con la familia o con amigos. Place. Están plus place. Están en una casa, están en una habitación de una casa, so they're in a room in a house. Hay una ventana, so there is a window. Y una butaca, armchair, ¿vale? We don't know that. Un sofá, una silla, whatever we can say. Fuera o afuera se ve plantas. Outside, we can see plants, ¿vale? We could say all the stuff if we wanted to. This looks like a Christmassy decoration, but I'm not sure. ¿Vale? Y adicional, pienso que están contentos. They look quite happy, okay? Well, the babies are always happy. And then we could add on something, porque parece que están hablando con alguien querido, because it looks like they're talking to someone they love, okay? Porque parece que están hablando con alguien querido. Then we would move on to, sin embargo, en la foto de abajo hay muchas personas. Hay dos chicos. I would say these are the main subjects here. Hay dos chicos y turistas. And then los turistas. But we could make it longer, higher. We could always give more information. Hay dos chicos que pasean. So there are two boys who are walking. Y turistas que visitan la ciudad. And tourists who visit the city. Activities. Hablan y visitan monumentos juntos. These two. Hablan y visitan monumentos juntos. They talk and they visit monuments together. Or están hablando y visitando monumentos y museos juntos. It looks like quite a historical, touristy place to go. And I'm assuming one of these could be a museum. They look like that. Okay? So that's it. That's two things about each of these two elements. Now, place. Están en una ciudad muy histórica. Hay edificios antiguos. ¿Sí? Parece una capital importante. This is some extra. It does look like an important cultural capital of some country, okay? So we can add that. Y adicional, pienso que están contentos. They look happy. Porque la visita es interesante. Because the visit is interesting. O creo que lo están pasando bien porque hay mucho que hacer. I think they're having a good time because there's so much to do. Okay, and that would be more than enough and we will be done. We could always add some more, of course, but remember, you have limited time for preparation. So anything else you could think of during your exam, that's fine. And then remember, there will be a second part. If you're doing foundation, you speak for 3 to 4 minutes. If you're doing higher, up to 4.5 minutes. And then your teacher, in those minutes, will ask you questions about these topics, okay, in theme 3. So holidays, media, technology, environment, your city. If you want to practice some questions, just listening to them and see if you get them, go out and check out my videos on topics 7, 8, and 9, and you have an array there of selection of questions for you to listen to and see if you get it, okay? And then if you want to work on how to extend your sentences, please check out my videos about how to improve your answers. I hope this helped. Adiós y gracias. See you next week for more. Adiós.